Every time you'll be seeing the word pivot or moment in physics exams, you'll be smiling because after you're done watching this video, it will be an area of your scoring, and you'll be able to score whole marks. So we must be able to know what moment is, and in simple terms, moment is the turning effect of a force. And we can give an example. When you are opening or closing a door, you'll find that it is easy for you to do that when you hold it by the far end of that door. Also, when you are using a hammer, you find that it is easy to use a hammer when you hold it by the far end and not the middle. Also, we have the formula of moment, which is equals to force multiplied with distance. And our moment has a symbol tau, being equal to F representing force, then D representing the distance. So moment has the units of Nm, that is Newton meter. Then force should be in its units of Newton, then distance in its unit of meter, and this distance is the perpendicular distance from the pivot to the point where the force acts. So there is a golden rule that clockwise moments are always equal to the anti-clockwise moments. Have these at the fingertip so that you will never fail any question concerning moments. They are always equal. We can consider this diagram. We have a pivot, we have perpendicular distance d1 and a force f1, and this one we've chosen it as anti-clockwise moments. Then we have d2 and a force f2, which we have considered it as clockwise moments. So we are having those two which are acting in an opposite direction. Always these moments do operate in the opposite directions. So we can consider an example which will help you to understand better. We're having that diagram, and a force of 10 newtons acting 2 meters from the pivot, another one 4 meters from the pivot, and a force which we do not know. So we are asked to get that force. So the anti-clockwise moments, which is equals to force times distance, will be taking a force of 10 newtons multiplied by that perpendicular distance of 2 meters, and that one will give us 20 newton meter. So from that we are going to equate with the unknown, and the unknown which we are going to assign it as F, for it to balance with the 20 newtons. Then we'll be taking the perpendicular distance from the pivot to the point where that force is acting. Therefore we'll be taking our force F, we multiply by 4 meters. That one will give us for F. Then thereafter we will equate to 20, meaning we are going to take 20 we divide by 4, and that one will give us 5 newtons, which will be the force that is able to balance that plank that we saw in the question. So in an exam scenario, the strategy that you should apply is that first find the pivot, then from the forces given, choose which one will go clockwise direction and which one will go the anti-clockwise direction. Then after you have identified that one, equate the two to solve for distance or force depending with the question. In an exam scenario, you should always make sure that the perpendicular distance has been read from the pivot and not anywhere else. These are mistakes that most learners do, and at the end miss the whole marks. So what have we been able to learn? These are the things that you should remember from today's lesson. That moment is calculated by taking the force, then you multiply with the distance. Then always assign your moments, one to be clockwise, then the other one to be anti-clockwise, for you to solve either for force or for the perpendicular distance. Also, for anti-clockwise moments, the distances should be measured from the pivot. Also, for anti-clockwise, the distances should be measured from the pivot. That is all for today's lesson. Subscribe so that you do not miss on the next lesson.